This video walks through a technical workshop originally presented at Docusign Discover, and it models a real-world account opening use case. We'll demonstrate how to automate an account opening workflow using a Maestro workflow and a connected fields extension app, focusing on the concepts and patterns developers use to build this solution. Along the way, we'll look at real code, a working app, and how the workflow and APIs fit together. This video aligns with Docusign's account opening use case. You can find a link to this use case page in the description if you'd like to explore the broader solution and related resources. All the code and project files we will use come from this GitHub repo, linked in the description. Clone it and install the dependencies by running the npm install command in the terminal. Configure the connected fields extension app used by the workflow. The repository includes a manifest file that you'll populate with values generated by a console command. Two parts of the manifest are especially important to note. This is the connections object, which connects the app to the proxy server. This is the actions object, which defines what actions the app can perform in the workflow. If this is your first time configuring a manifest file, follow the beginner playlist linked in the video description. Once the manifest is configured, run the app, upload the manifest to the developer console, and run the console tests to confirm everything is working as expected. Next, set up the web form used in the workshop. The repository includes a web form configuration file. So instead of building the form from scratch, upload the existing configuration and review its structure to understand how the form fields map back to the app and workflow. Once the form is uploaded, open it in the editor to review the configuration. This form collects email, account holder name, bank name, account number, and routing number. Each field is required and assigned an API reference name. These reference names are how the submitted values are accessed later by the workflow and the application. Once the fields are configured, the form is saved and activated so it can be used by the workflow. The repo also includes a sample document used to create an eSignature envelope template. Upload and configure this template by defining a recipient role, placing app fields, and adding the signing fields. If you want an in-depth overview of template creation, check out the template video linked in the description. Save and close the template. With the eSignature template and web form in place, we can now configure the Maestro workflow. This workflow defines the start method, data collection and mapping, sending documents for signature, and a confirmation step once signing is complete. Together, these steps drive the full account opening flow end to end. If you'd like a deeper, step-by-step walkthrough of Maestro workflow creation and configuration, check out the Maestro video in the description. With the workflow published, we're ready to trigger it from the app. Next, configure the application in the Docusign Developer Center so it can authenticate and trigger the workflow programmatically. This setup provides the credentials and identifiers the app needs, including an integration key, client secret, account ID, and the workflow ID. These values are wired into the project using the provided settings file. Once configured, the application is ready to call the Maestro APIs. In the main directory of the repo, the server.js file included hands-on exercises to retrieve workflow trigger requirements, trigger a workflow instance, and embed the result. For this video, we'll walk through the completed solution located in the post-workshop resources folder. Before running the app, rename this file to server.js. The first API call finds what the workflow requires to trigger, including required inputs and request structure. The next call triggers the workflow instance by supplying the workflow ID, account ID, and input values. When the workflow starts successfully, Maestro returns an instance URL, which the app embeds in an iframe to view the running workflow. If you want hands-on practice, switch back to the original server file in the repository and complete the coding tasks yourself. At this point, you now have the full flow end-to-end, from configuration to API calls to a running Maestro workflow triggered programmatically from an application. If you want to deepen your understanding, we recommend revisiting the workshop version of the server file and completing the coding tasks yourself. That hands-on experience is the best way to get comfortable with discovering trigger requirements, triggering workflows, and embedding running instances in your own apps. To continue, complete the hands-on exercises, customize the workflow or web form, and adapt this pattern to your own use cases. If you have questions, reach out through the Docusign developer community or visit the Developer Center. Links can be found in the description. Thanks for watching and happy building.